So you know how everyone's kind of freaking out about how to regulate AI? Well, Japan is taking a totally different path. They're not just writing rules, they're building a whole new national infrastructure for artificial intelligence. It's called Gennai, and today we're going to break down this incredibly ambitious plan.
Okay, get this. By 2026, there's going to be this new gatekeeper, basically, and it's going to control access to Japan's entire public sector. I'm talking every single government agency, every ministry. This one system is about to change the game for any tech company that wants to do business there.
So, what's the price of admission to this massive market? Well, there's just one rule, and it is a big one. Your AI has to be Gennai-Compatible. So what on earth does that even mean?
All right, let's pull back the curtain on this new gatekeeper. We're talking about a platform with a very specific job and a whole lot of power.
So what is Gennai? Well, it's a sovereign generative AI platform, meaning it's built by Japan for Japan. And come May 2026, it's going to be in the hands of over 100,000 public officials. Think of it like a secure, homegrown AI toolset for running the entire country.
And here's the thing you really need to get. This isn't just some new app for government workers. No. This is a new national standard. By making it mandatory, Japan is basically forcing the entire market to play by its rules. If you want to do business with the government, you don't just sell to them. You have to plug right into Gennai.
But a project this huge, it doesn't just happen, right? To really understand Gemini, we got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the national vision that's driving all this. And trust me, it's about way more than just tech.
Look, Japan is facing some pretty intense challenges. We're talking a super aging population, a workforce that's shrinking, and a real need to not be dependent on other countries for its tech. So their big goal? To fuse the digital world with the physical world to solve these problems.
And that brings us to this big idea they call Society 5.0. It's basically their blueprint for a super smart society. The whole point is to use tech, especially AI and IoT, to tackle those massive social issues we just talked about. Gemini, it's not just a platform, it's a cornerstone of this grand plan.
Okay, so how do you regulate something this big? Well, this is where Japan does a complete 180 from what we're seeing in the West. They've basically tossed out the rule book of heavy fines and strict laws for something they call soft law. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. You've got the EU AI Act on one side, which is all about preventing risk with these eye-watering fines. We're talking up to 7% of your global revenue. Then you have Japan's AI Promotion Act. Their philosophy? Innovation first. The biggest punishment isn't a fine, it's getting named and shamed. And just look at data scraping. Japan is super permissive, which is like rocket fuel for training new AI models. It's a huge, huge advantage.
And that quote right there, that's the key. A lot of outsiders look at this and think, no fines, no teeth, and that is a massive mistake. In Japan's business culture, your reputation is everything. Getting publicly called out by the government, that's not just bad PR, it's the market telling everyone you can't be trusted. That's way more expensive than any fine.
So, how do they enforce all this? With something called the Gennai Safety Loop. Think of it like a mandatory driver's test for your AI. Before you can even get in the door, you have to let the government's AI Safety Institute basically try to break your model. They red team it, looking for weaknesses. It's this constant automated stress test. You fail, you're out. Simple as that.
So, if you're a company trying to figure this all out, there's a roadmap called the JACT Bridge. It boils down to 3 things. You report to a group of agencies, you make sure you're aligned with global standards like the Hiroshima AI Process, and, most importantly, you do whatever you have to do to stay off that dreaded name and shame list.
Okay, so you've got this unique legal system built for speed. But great laws are useless without the tech, right? And this is where Japan is putting its money where its mouth is. They're building their own sovereign AI stack from the silicon up.
And when I say they're putting money in, I mean serious money. The government has unleashed a 1 trillion yen fund. That's over $6 billion US. And it's all going towards building a domestic AI ecosystem. This isn't just a side project. This is about technological independence.
And they're not just throwing money around. A massive piece of that pie, $1.6 billion, is going to a company called Rapidus. It's a state-backed chip maker with one job, mass-produce next-gen 2-nanometer chips, right there in Japan. They're aiming to compete with the best in the world.
And you know what? It's already working. Take Sakana AI.
This Tokyo startup, founded by some ex-Google folks, has just exploded. It's now worth something like $2.6 billion. This is exactly the kind of domestic champion Japan is trying to create.
All right, so we've talked strategy, we've talked laws, we've talked money, but what does all this physical AI stuff actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look.
Listen to this piece of advice. It will improve if you reflect on your closeness with them and maintain an inner balance. Sounds pretty deep, right? Like something a therapist might say? Well, the source is a little different.
Yeah, that came from Buddharoid, an AI-powered robot monk from Kyoto University. It's been trained on Buddhist scriptures to give spiritual advice. I know it sounds a bit out there, but it's a perfect example of Japan using AI to solve a real-world problem: a shortage of clergy.
And it's not just robot monks. We're seeing AI agents in factories predicting when a machine will break down before it happens. We're seeing AI drones that can now legally inspect and certify a bridge is safe, a job that used to take teams of people. This is what Society 5.0 actually looks like on the ground.
So when you put it all together, the soft law approach, the huge investments, this focus on physical AI, what do you get? Well, it looks like Japan is building something that a lot of other countries can only dream of right now.
This quote just nails it. Japan is building an innovation safe harbor. While the US is tied up in lawsuits and the EU is tangled in regulation, Japan's approach offers a clear runway, especially for AI that actually interacts with the physical world.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. As the West gets more and more bogged down in rules and restrictions, is Japan quietly building the most founder-friendly AI ecosystem on the entire planet?